Minute family, it is I, John Parker, once again, here to say hello. Hiya, have you missed me? I've missed you. I've missed all of you. I've missed the show. I'm so upset I didn't get to be here today. And spoiler alert, here's how the sausage is made. I'm also not going to get to do the next episode because they're recorded together. Don't tell anyone. It's a little secret. I'm letting you in on the secret of how this is made. But anyway, I just wanted to pop in at the end here to give a couple of thoughts about this minute 38. And, you know, because we were back with Sal wandering the remnants of a hopeful world and whatnot. And I found this a very interesting minute. You know, forward to the future. I think for Sal Valestra, that's actually quite depressing, hearing that, you know, and having that message there, that forward to the future, the attraction coming to life, scaring him. Because to me, it's almost like the universe is telling Sal Valestra that he's the past, that the world is going to advance into whatever the future holds, you know, good or bad, without him. He has no place, no part in the way that things are going. His time is done. And what's more depressing it's depressing to everybody, but it's especially depressing to people like this who, you know, had a lot of strength and power and prestige. You know, now it's gone. It's all gone. Represented by his physical health. But it's kind of also working as a metaphor, isn't it? The physical health decline for his decline in general. He is the past. The future is this new world, almost sort of, I would say, represented by the Joker. You know, which, spoiler alert, the Joker's in the episode. How goddamn exciting to see the Joker. And, you know, instantly, I hate that song. Instantly, the animated Joker we know and love. That attitude is there from second one, immediately. I mean, it also helps that it's Mark Hamill, of course. And I could just go on and on and on right now about Star Wars, and I'm sure they probably did in the episode. I'm recording this before even I've heard it. I'm recording this, like, immediately. If they didn't talk about Star Wars, let me know, because I'm going to write a strongly worded letter to Niall's solicitors. Lawyers for you Americans, I'm sure. Now, I'm going to talk about this in an upcoming episode a little bit as well, but for me, Mark Hamill, other than Star Wars, you know, other than Luke Skywalker, my goddamn favourite movies in the world he's in. But he also was in a video game I got. Wing Commander 3. I only bought that because of him, and because it sort of resembled the old X-Wing and TIE Fighter games that I grew up with. Loved those games. I loved the way you could name your wingmen and, you know, your crew. You could name them all, so you'd call them, like, after your friends. And if they died in the game, they were dead. Like, you could sometimes retrieve them if you were lucky, but if the Empire killed him, your friend in real life, he was dead. He died in real life. He'd collapse in the street. There was no way to stop it, and there was an epidemic. There was people were wondering why just children were dropping dead in the street. Turned out it was because of me putting them in X-Wing games. But anyway, Wing Commander 3. That came out in 1994. I did a little bit of research on it as well. And it was a departure from previous games in the series, which I hadn't played, I'll be perfectly honest. In that it used extensive live action, you know, FMV, full motion video, which was all the rage for a very long time there. I personally have a very nostalgic attachment to FMV sequences, you know, because games like this and Red Alert, well, the original Command & Conquer, not just Red Alert. I very much liked Red Alert, though, as a history buff. But, yes, it was huge. Oh, Night Trap. How am I forgetting Night Trap? I've got the remake, I guess, the remaster. I've got the remaster on Steam. And Night Trap is as confounding now as it was back then. But Wing Commander 3. that had an advertising slogan: "Don't watch the game, play the movie." I thought that's pretty cool, because it's a new thing. And the game, it had 2 hours of video, and it had loads of stars. Mark Hamill, of course. He was Colonel Christopher Maverick Blair. What an original name, Maverick. But you also had Malcolm McDowell as Admiral Tolwyn, John Rhys Davies as James Paladin Taggart. And let me just say, John Rhys Davies, he is a bit of a pioneer in the FMV field, because, one of the earliest ones I can think of, I'm probably wrong, but one of the earliest ones I can remember personally is him being in the Dune video game as a Mentat, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong there, people. I think he was a Mentat in the Dune game. But you also had... Oh, hang on, he played a second character. I forgot that. Let me try and get this right. He played that one I said, but also Thrakath Na Kiranka. That's a mouthful. But the editors of PC Gamer US, I could only find the US one for this for some reason, they gave it 1994's Best Action Game Award. But it lost to TIE Fighter. Yeah. To be honest, TIE Fighter was a lot better, if memory serves. It was great. But then in 95, it did get another award. It got the 3DO Interactive Movie of the Year. That was kind of an unsung console a little bit, the 3DO. I don't think many people had one, unfortunately. And in 96, this is a bit of a stretch, Computer Gaming World ranked it the 54th best game of all time. And the 9th most innovative computer game. That's crazy to me. I remember it being pretty good, very hard. But the 9th most innovative of all time by 96. No, you're wrong. But then again, in 2011, PC Gamer ranked it 72nd on the list of the 100 best PC games of all time. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm misremembering. Because I sucked at it, which I absolutely did. That's all my Wing Commander stuff for now, anyway. But we get a few other things I really loved, like when Joker says, "Can it be? Old Sally, the Weezer Valestra? Welcome, Paisan." Amazing line. Because I already had heard it, but it means like countryman or brother in Italian, and I just love that he's come here, my brother, not literal brother, but he's trying to be all friendly, he's trying to kiss up to him, but if you know anything about the Joker, he doesn't mean it. It's sort of sarcastic, and he is going to do something. If he's being friendly to you, you should be worried, I think. But we get so many good Joker lines. I'm sure they talked about them all, when he says, "Why so formal? Mi casa nostra es su casa nostra," which I thought was a very good play on words, because mi casa from Spanish, but then adapting it to Italian by saying Casa Nostra, which makes it similar to Cosa Nostra. And Cosa Nostra is the traditional name used by the mafia to refer to their organization, which is Italian for our thing, which sounds kind of weird. But, the term was adopted by the Italian press because they needed a name to separate the mafia from other organized crime organizations. So they came up with, Cosa Nostra. So it's a fun little play on words there. Mi casa nostra es su casa nostra. Very clever. I like that. The script also has a little bit of an extra bit that I found interesting, where it says, "Suddenly, a flock of small autogyros streak SFX out of the tunnel. Camera follows the small flying models as they whirl around the surprised Valestra. The Joker looks at them nonchalantly. On Joker." And then Joker says, "Oh, don't mind my home security system," as he removes a small remote from his pocket and activates it. And that's when he then says, "Can't be too careful with all those weirdos around." I just thought it was quite interesting having all this different little security and whatnot. Maybe it's just unnecessary or something like that, you know. And every line out of this dude is a joke. Of course, he's called the Joker, but it's like every goddamn line, and it's wonderful. What's an old-timer like you want with a two-timer like me? A two-timer like me. Now, not only is that funny, he's making fun of himself, but he's sort of telling you what's going to happen. And he's sort of telling Velastro what's going to happen. Because, I'm sure you can imagine, listeners, if you've not seen this before, the things are going to take a bit of a turn with this relationship. And he's mocking himself while also informing us. And it's great. Now, when Sal says what brings him here, business, and the Joker rushes over and sort of goes, it pushes this film to the very brink of being ridiculous with his little spring wobble. It's on that edge, but in the best possible way. It's like sort of very Animaniacs or something like that. It's crazy. It's wild. If any other character did it in this, it would be dumb. It would be stupid. I would hate it. You would probably hate it. But the Joker doing it, mwah, perfect. Because you get the vibe that he is doing it as a bit. Like, he's somehow worked out how to do it. It's a gag in the universe, I think. And I just thought that was amazing. I thought that was absolutely fantastic. This whole minute was great. Joker, excited to talk about this some more. He slams Velestra into the roller coaster car. They're going on a fun ride. And I hope you not only have been on a fun ride this episode, but are going to be on a fun ride into the next one as well. I'm very excited to give them a listen. I love the guest. I love Vera Drew. Fantastic work. And I'm sure we're going to have her back. I hope we have her back. Please come back, Vera, because I want to talk to you. If not, I'm going to have to just splice together some audio and pretend I've spoken to you. And do you want me to do that, really? It's very cruel to me. Not to you. Whatever. But yes, I will be departing now. Dear listeners, thank you for joining us once again on the Bat Minute podcast. And minute 38 of Bat Minute of the Phantasm. Into the dark, dark night!